reconnect with Mr. Shishir Joshipura, the MD and CEO at Praj Industries. Thank you so much for taking time out. Let's talk about the sugar production estimates for the full year, which have been revised. You also had Mr. Sharad Pawar urging the central government to ease the restrictions on the use of sugarcane for ethanol production. From just an industry and a sector standpoint, are you expecting some relief from the government anytime soon?
Well, I think the government policy is to ensure that they continuously realign the policy to ensure that the more pressing problems are solved first. And now with the sugar production looking up and even the coming season, and we know that we are already a surplus sugar country, we do expect a favorable policy decision which will allow more ethanol production out of sugar rather than sending sugar to the stocks.
Mr. Joshipura, the last time we spoke with you, you said that you're sitting with a very healthy order book position right now, and your order backlog itself was at 3855 crore rupees as of 31st March 24. What's been the quantum of order inflow in Q1 FY25 that you've seen so far?
Well, we are still going through the quarter, so and capital orders have to have a cycle of order book. So we will talk about it when we finish the quarter, but we do not see any difference in the rate of order book that we have had, the policies that we have deployed, the markets that we are following. We believe that all of them are playing out the way we thought they will, and therefore it continues to be on a positive run.
Okay, what we are trying to understand is, would you manage to do better than what we had last year?
Well, that's the effort, that we will do better than last year. Yes, of course.
Okay, great. On a long-term basis, Mr. Joshipura, you plan to turn into a play on transition towards cleaner forms of energy. Help us understand the kind of opportunity you see in low-carbon ethanol manufacturing, both in India as well as globally, and how you can be or play a key role in this.
Yes, that's a great question. So ethanol by itself so far has been bought as a commodity, but as we move forward into the future, this is going to change because there will be a carbon intensity tag that will also get attached to the ethanol, and that will determine the price of ethanol. So we expect, and that is being driven from different factors. One of the big ones that is going to emerge on a mid to long term basis is the emergence of alcohol to jet pathway for SAF production, where we will need low carbon ethanol as an input to SAF production, because that's the basic requirement. So what was going to happen is, there will be several new capacities that will come around low carbon ethanol production, but also which will mean what we have traditionally talked about, second generation ethanol, which is fundamentally ultra low carbon intensity ethanol. So that will become a big move forward. We also expect that a lot of existing projects, especially in the United States, which are the current first generation ethanol plants, they will also move to reduce the intensity of carbon in their operation, and thereby go to a lower carbon intensity score and qualified as a feedstock for SAF. So this becomes a big driver as we move forward. We clearly see emergence of new applications such as SAF and the RED III directives in Europe to actually be driving a low carbon intensity ethanol, and that will get differentially priced, which was not the case so far.
All right. And what about the outlook on the engineering division segment that currently contributes about 20% of your revenue? What kind of opportunity are you seeing from the energy transition and climate action products?
Yes, that's another big driver out there, because we clearly see a shift for energy transition taking place, driven from different push that is happening on production of hydrogen. Hydrogen is being produced worldwide at big scale, but currently it's a gray hydrogen. But I think there's a clear move now that we see to move it to blue and green hydrogen, eventually even to pink. But as it starts to move from gray to blue, it creates a big opportunity for our engineering business. That's just an example. The waste to energy projects, the whole SAF establishment, the world is moving and largely appreciating the modularization offering that we have got to make. So we expect a big push to come in that direction from different drivers in the market, but all of them converge to modularization as an approach. And we believe that that will also go to augur very, very well for the new capacity that we have set up in Mangalore for ourselves.
Mr. Joshipura, exports currently contribute to around 19% of your overall revenue, and you aim to increase it to 50% by FY30. Which segments do you think are going to drive this kind of export contribution for you?
Yes, we we started to work on this about 3 years ago when we recognized that we need to expand our geographical footprint and our offering. Also given by the fact, as I was mentioning earlier, the energy transition and climate action opportunity, both the directives on RED III in Europe, the SAF directive or under IRA in United States, and several other countries, driven from the fact that many countries are waking up to the reality that maybe it makes more sense for them to produce their own energy rather than import it. And we are seeing this shift happen in Canada, this shift happen in Mexico, this is happening in Brazil. Brazil, of course, already a very big player there, but they are now shifting the feedstock itself to cater to a larger part of the country. So the whole effort on the biofuel side, because they are being clearly recognized as a very clear answer to abating not only the CO2 emission, but also to driving local economies in a very constructive sort of way. And that is what is leading to a drive up for the ethanol demand. And that is what is going to help us. And this is not going to get limited only to the ethanol as a molecule. We will see some other molecules emerge as well. We are already seeing some play emerge on the, as we call it in India, CBG, the compressed biogas, or RNG as it's called worldwide.
I wanted to talk about CBG a little further because, you've always said that that's going to be a key growth driver for you. Tell me, how will ethanol blending in diesel actually become a reality, and what it would then mean for you as a business?
Yes. So in terms of blending, obviously, we have seen the impact it has when we blend it in petrol, and very ambitious program, very successful program launched by India. The government is being lauded worldwide for what they have achieved under this program. And the diesel, as you know, is roughly 3 times more consumption in our economy compared to petrol. So any blending that could happen there would dramatically impact some of the goals in terms of energy independence and forex exchange outflow, etc. So very clearly a solution has to be found for diesel blending. Experiments are currently underway. It may not exactly be ethanol as a molecule, but a slight variation of that would probably succeed. We are right now under a program that we are working along with several institutes to see as to what is that shape and size of that molecule that will actually address some of the issues that the diesel combustion requires. We already know what it is. We just need to go through some confirmation tests, and when we are ready, we'll talk about it. But that's definitely going to happen.
Right. And by when is it that you plan to, or rather expect to receive your government approval for the joint venture with IOC? Because with that 200 crore rupees initial investment, wanted to also understand how much revenue will this joint venture generate?
Yes, you said it. We are also waiting for the approval to come through. From what we hear, it should be sooner rather than later. But we are at the background. We are all gearing ourselves up to be on the word go from day one. So both the teams from Indian Oil and Praj are working to make this into a successful venture.
Great to have you on the show. Thank you so much for taking the time out and speaking with us today on ET Now.
Thank you.
Okay, on that note...
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.